Welcome back to A Moment in History. I'm Seth Udinsky. In today's segment, we explore one of the most shocking national crimes in the history of the 20th century. If you ask any American born before the year 1960, they will likely be able to remember the exact moment when they found out that President John F. Kennedy was assassinated while riding in a motorcade parade in Dallas, Texas on November 22, 1963. History tells us that the prime suspect in this murder investigation was Lee Harvey Oswald, an embittered ex-Marine and an expert marksman. But we may never know for sure if he was the president's murderer because of the actions of a Dallas nightclub owner named Jack Ruby on November 24, 1963. Almost immediately after John F. Kennedy was shot while passing the Texas School Book Depository in midday on November 22nd, law enforcement officers found their prime suspect. Oswald was the owner of a rifle that had been left near the 6th floor window of the Texas School Book Depository, the weapon that detectives believed fired the fatal shot at President Kennedy. Oswald was arrested at a nearby movie theater in the afternoon on November 22nd and immediately taken to police custody. Though Oswald claimed innocence, he was the prime suspect. 2 days after President Kennedy's death, Oswald was in police custody awaiting trial and preparing to be transferred to a different prison in Dallas. Several news stations were recording the transfer live for their viewers, hoping to catch a glimpse of the man who had murdered the president. Without warning, Jack Ruby wormed his way through the crowd and approached Oswald. He pulled out a .38 revolver pistol and fired a single shot at Oswald, killing him on live television before thousands of shocked viewers. Ruby was arrested and charged with first-degree murder and died in prison in 1967. While many believed Ruby acted out of righteous anger in the president's defense, others were not convinced. Some Americans are convinced that this act of public vengeance could have been part of a larger conspiracy to hide the truth about the president's murder. We may never know the true story of the assassination of John F. Kennedy, but what we do know is the impact of his death and its surrounding events on an entire generation of Americans. President Kennedy was survived by his wife Jacqueline and their 2 children, Caroline and John Jr. Thanks so much for joining me once again for A Moment in History. If you enjoyed this video, let us know by commenting down below. And for more historical content, just hit subscribe. I'm Seth Udinsky, and I'll see you next time on A Moment in History.